So maybe this is going to be a bit of a longer video. These videos, like for shorts, have to be like 3 minutes or less in length. And I find myself kind of rushing to finish what I want to say just because, or I can't get to every little detail of what I want to say because I have this timer going up to 3 minutes on the camera app. And I feel like I have to finish up my point, which is good because then I stop yapping. But for the sake of like my own personal getting my thoughts out there for me, it's nicer to have a longer talk. So this video, I want to talk about my relationship with masculinity and kind of how it's what it's looked like over the years. So as a child, right, really up through, even through like a good part of high school, I'd say like through 11th grade, I didn't even really have a concept of traditional male values. Like, I thought that kind of stuff was like outdated, and like, because what you learn in school essentially is like, yeah, like men used to, like women didn't used to have voting rights, but now everything's equal. And I just like internalized that at the time, that yeah, like basically there's no difference between men and women in terms of how they are expected to act in society. I just didn't think that there was a difference, really. Like, I thought that was just like some old-timey thing. And that's because really I didn't have any experience with like hyper, like traditionally masculine figures in my life. My dad's not really like hyper masculine like that, and he was the only like male person really in my life. So I just kind of just grew up thinking that society in the 21st century is just like, oh yeah, men and women basically have same expectations. Then I got onto YouTube space, where all these channels will come at you talking about how, yeah, there's like all these differences between men and women, and how like as a man, there's these expectations that women will have for you, and that society will have for you, such as, yeah, things like you're expected to pay for things. You're expected to like defend physically, you know, like your wife or your girlfriend. Like, that's something that you're supposed to do. Men are supposed to be physically strong. Yeah, stuff like that, and like a whole like hierarchy amongst men, like that some men are like at the top of some sort of hierarchy, and those are the men that like women will want to get with. So this is the kind of stuff that was introduced to me like starting in 12th grade or so, and it's total contrast to what I had learned growing up. But I kind of saw that these things had some validity to them, in that like, yeah, like it seemed like the people who, like the men who were like the most successful with girls, at least shared some of these quote unquote traditionally masculine traits, such as being physically strong, and like commanding respect among other men. And for me, someone who's, you know, 5'4", not super physically strong, never did any kind of like contact sports, or like, you know, wouldn't be particularly confident in like a fighting situation where I like defending myself or someone else, kind of made myself feel like I was inferior to these people, and that my chances of getting with a girl were lower as a result. Also, another thing that I realized about masculinity is like there's like a dress, like the way you dress is like partly like related to masculinity. Like if you're too into fashion, that's like a less traditionally masculine thing, I guess. So these were, and I'm not saying that I agree with any of these things. I'm just saying these are the concepts that like were introduced to me by YouTube back in 12th grade, and I saw them kind of seeming like they held some validity to them, at least with the men I saw in my life. So I saw these concepts being successful, being physically strong, kind of like dressing with certain styles or not dressing with certain styles. Just kind of the way they acted. Like there's like a way you act if you want to be a traditionally successful man. So this is what I started to learn. And so I realized, like, okay, yes, these people seem to be having success. I should try to become this type of fit these masculine traits. I should try to fit them. And so I tried to. One of the traits that, like, I found is that, like, men shouldn't be, to be masculine is not to be affected by your environment. So you shouldn't like let the cold affect you or the heat affect you or something like that. Like, for example, you should never, like, complain about the cold or complain about the rain or something like that, right? Especially if there's a girl around. And like for example, that was like something that, like, I stuck to, right? And so yeah, so now I'm, like, at these two conflicts where it's like, and also I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So, like, so my relationship with masculinity shifted from thinking that not even realizing that, like, masculinity was, like, a concept to, like, oh, I have to give myself the best chance in this world at, like, finding love. I have to be as masculine as possible. And if I'm being honest, and this is probably because I just wasn't really raised with super high masculine presence, it just doesn't come naturally to me. Like, I mean, some things more than others, right? Like, not complaining about the cold. Like, I'm not really the type of person to complain about that kind of stuff, as it is. So, like, all right, that wasn't too bad. But, other things, like always, so, like, when I got a girlfriend, for example, like, always paying for meals or something, or, like, making a big deal out of it if my ex wanted to pay, like, or things like feeling like I couldn't open up emotionally because, like, I heard somewhere that, like, it's an ick if for like women will not like it if, like, they feel like they have to be your therapist. And so that was, like, my relationship with masculinity. Like, I felt like I couldn't like, I was kind of just being a bitch if I started complaining about emotions and yeah, just, like, complaining about things. And I'm realizing that now there is a gray area. So it became a point where, like, these things were causing me a lot of stress because I felt guilty, like I had to conform to this masculine expectation in order to be liked by to be, like, respected by other men and liked by women, right? Which is really hard to do because it doesn't come naturally to me. So kind of just, it's like a lot of just mental bandwidth that I have to, like, I just have to, so much computation has to happen because I'm just changing the way that I act and kind of forcing myself to act in certain ways. And, like, so what I'm realizing now is that life is more so about balance, because the concept, these masculine traits, right, I don't think there's anything inherently bad with a lot of them. Like in fact, a lot of them are probably good. Like, it's a nice thing to pay for someone's meal, right? That's a nice thing to do. It's good to be able to be strong, right? Like, to be physically strong is a good thing. It's healthy to be in good shape, right? That's good. Being able to stand up for other people and stand up for yourself is a good thing. You want to have the confidence and strength to do that. So these are all good masculine traits, right? It's not like, not toxic masculinity by any means. So these are good things that I feel like I should be working towards. But at the same time, you know, it's like you can't it's not like the end all be all. You need some combination of balance, especially because it doesn't come naturally to me. Like it just opened up the door for me to like just do these things that were just all out of like guilt and stress. Like I feel like I have to I feel like I can never open up to like a girl or something, or like I can never complain about anything to a girl. And of course that's just not realistic. So then what ends up happening is that you end up complaining a lot at one time to a girl, and then that actually is making them want to be a therapist. It's like it all bottles up and then you spill it out all at once. But anyway, I'm yapping. I'm not claiming that this video is coherent in any way. I'm just kind of letting my thoughts out there. But yeah, like I'm realizing now that like there are masculine traits that you need to work towards, but you shouldn't be a perfectionist with it. Like you're never gonna be the number one masculine man of all time, nor do you is that even necessarily something you should want. But there's you gotta like also like I gotta pick my battles, right? Like there's some things that are more important than others, right? Like you know, like I can be a little vulnerable with my emotions. Maybe it's not the most masculine thing, but like within reason, do it. And then, but put like a larger concentrated effort on like standing up for what's right in a situation, you know? And that's like, that's some real masculine shit, is like standing up for yourself and other people. And yeah, I also got like this notion that like everything is about like, yeah, like being a man is like doing stuff for other people all the time. And that just has tired, like it's made me so, it made me so tired. Because I like was just never taking the, like actually setting a boundary and taking the time for myself. And like the whole idea of like, oh, work ethic is all like masculinity requires a crazy work ethic. So I was like, man, I'm just being a bitch because I want to take a break and like, because I could theoretically be spending more time helping people around me, like my mom, like my ex. I could have been doing that. But like, I don't want to. I'm doing it out of guilt. And really what I want to do is just have time for myself and like have a break. And so, yes, like working hard is masculine, but at some point it just breaks you down. And you can only be so masculine, you know? If you wanna be like able to sustain it, you know. And that's something that probably like your tolerance can build over time. But like I just tried to do it all at once and like go as hard in the paint as I could, and I just couldn't sustain it forever. And then it just led to resentment. I would resent when I was like helping people because I didn't really want to do it. So, you know, like, yeah, I mean, I really think you kind of do in a sense, like, even if it makes you, like, maybe less useful to other people, and therefore maybe less masculine. I don't know if that's how you define masculinity, as, like, your level of output for other people. You have to put yourself first. Take care of all of your needs first. Get yourself into, like, not like the perfect situation, but like a pretty damn good situation for yourself where you're feeling good. And then with any additional energy and time that you have above that, you can put that shit on helping other people. And, you know, it's just a way, like, I mean, it just makes me feel like, wait, it lets me take a breath of, like, relief if that's the attitude I'm taking. Because I feel like, yeah, I can really, like, let myself be, you know, and not live out of guilt. And then anytime I'm helping, it's like, yeah, like, I really want to be helping. I'm doing it out of, like, a place of strength. Like, yes, I have the strength to help you, as opposed to like, oh, I gotta help you because otherwise I'm gonna feel terrible about myself, and like I'm just no man, not a man for not doing it, you know, that type of stuff. Because yeah, I mean, it just led to me like being like super, just like obsessed. I mean, like I became like and like to some extent, like I really am just at the very beginning of trying to get out of this. Like just I'm like obsessive about so many things. Maybe I have like, I mean, I don't know if it's like addictive personality or something, but like I just take everything to like the extreme, you know, because like I'm like so fixated on like the ideal. So but then it ends up backfiring like crazy. Like, for example, like I basically developed a whole eating disorder because like I got like obsessed with trying to have like the most ideal nutrient setup and all this stuff. So as a result, like I've been constantly thinking about food all day. If I'm not like actively controlling myself, I'll eat like 5,000 calories a day and just eat all the time. It's not healthy. And then when I am like controlling my diet and I'm actually like eating like within like the calorie range I want to, it's like eating like ridiculous foods. Like I'll eat an entire 2 pounds of yogurt, low fat Greek yogurt, to hit my protein and like low calories. Then, because I want to be eating something all the time, I'll chew an entire pack of gum a day. I'll drink like low calorie beverages, like low calorie sodas and stuff like that. And like all I'll be thinking about is when I can have my next meal and stuff like that. It's just me being obsessive about it. And what does it have to do with masculinity? Is that like part of being an attractive man is having a good physique. So my goal is to like get the best physique possible. So it's like, then how do I do this? And I do all this research, like what the best food is and what the best nutrients are. I become obsessive over it, you know? And it's like, that's not what life is about, you know? Because it just stresses you out. Any kind of obsession that like isn't like something you're passionate about is just stress. Like, it's not really like an obsession, but in a bad way. Like, there's two types of obsession. You can be obsessed about something you really like, and you're like obsessed about it because you like want to do it. But then there's obsession where it's like you're obsessed about it in that you're thinking about it all the time, but it's like you don't like it. 'Cause it's like making you feel guilty if you don't do the thing or whatever. Anyway, so that was the case with eating, with going to the gym, like exercise and stuff. Like I'd make myself feel guilty if I'm not pushing myself to my absolute limit every time. And I mean, I've kind of tapered that down a bit, but even still, you know, trying to just have like the ideal workout setup. And it's just like in the grand scheme of things, like having the best physique is a part of a much bigger picture, you know, and pushing yourself to your all out is just a part of that small part of doing it. If you just show up to the gym consistently and you're not going, and you're going like fairly hard but not like crazy, then you get really like the best of both worlds. It's like you're getting like most of the benefit of going to the gym, and you're also maintaining your sanity and like enjoyment of life to some extent, you know? So it's like about balance. It's not about perfection. And it's one thing if like, you know, like your main goal in life is to have the best physique and you're a professional bodybuilder and you're willing to make trade-offs for other aspects of your life in order to truly put your best effort into bodybuilding. But the thing is that when you there's only 24 hours in a day, so you have to allocate some of your, like if your other goals, and if you have like a bunch of separate goals in life, you can't, and you put a certain amount of time into bodybuilding, right, or just energy or mental throughput into bodybuilding, then that is actually taking away from your other goals. So when you feel upset, like in life, you know, it's because you're not putting enough energy into like making yourself happy, you know. And that's what was happening with me. I just wouldn't really put any energy into like making myself happy, setting boundaries. That was always just like happiness just extra, but really it's not, you know. Like that is actually something you should focus on to some extent, because like everyone's goal is to live a happy life to some extent, you know. I mean, happiness isn't everything, but you know, kind of like a key foundation for really doing other things. Because when you're happy, you just have more energy and more passion for everything else. So that's why you got to put yourself first and make sure that you're happy, you know. And am I happy? Like, you know, I'm doing better. I think I am like slowly developing a better mentality with things. Man, I just went so extreme, and I feel bad because I like my ex definitely felt the results of that. Like, it made her life way more stressful too, and I just really regret that. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, this is a longer one, a much longer one, but it's good. I enjoy making longer videos, just yapping. It's good. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.